Oh my God, that's a boat. Oh, that's a big one. He bit at the boat. He is barely hooked. He is barely hooked on the bottom. Oh, oh. That's a Bowfin.
Hello, I'm Captain Bert Diener, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to fish a Dura-Spin and a lot of the details around it. This is a lure that I designed. I used a spinner a lot that had a hard wire, and just a couple Bowfin would mangle that. So I came up with one with a soft wire, and you can catch a couple dozen Bowfin even off of one of these baits. And pickerel, it's got the wire so they don't cut it. This one has actually already caught about a dozen fish, and it's barely even bent at all. Today I'm going to give you some details about how to fish this bait. Dura-Spins are real easy to fish. You can't go wrong, really. All you do is throw it out and reel it in. For pickerel, like here in the Okefenokee swamp, you can cast near the edges, does a little bit better than trolling usually, but there's days when trolling's the way to do it. Basically, I'll come out here, stop, and start casting down the middle of the canal and see whether I'm picking up Bowfin or pickerel, and then adjust from there. Trolling is another way to do it. You can just put your trolling motor down, figure out what speed is keeping that bait above, but that blade just keeps spinning and the fish jump on it. So you can either hold it or put it in a rod holder, and trolling is very effective, especially in the winter time. The trolling is much more effective than casting in the winter. I make Dura-Spins in a lot of colors, and some times the fish will hit any of them, and other times they're picky and they'll only hit one color or the other. The most popular colors that I have are black chartreuse with both the silver and the chartreuse blade, the jackfish, which is a red, yellow, and white with a silver blade, the fire tiger, which is the lime, chartreuse, orange, and has a chartreuse blade or a silver blade, and then crawfish, which comes in the gold blade or the orange blade. So there's lots of different options, lots of different colors, and I basically just try the different ones until I find out what the fish wants that day. I like to fish Dura-Spins on spinning tackle. A spinning reel has a good drag. It's easy to cast this light bait. You don't have any trouble with that. And what I use is braided line. And the reason I like braid is because when you're throwing this bait that spins, braid does not get a twist to it and get a memory and get all twisted up like monofilament does. You can use mono and it's fine, it has more stretch, but you'll have to change that mono every few trips when you're throwing a spinning lure like this that can cause twist. I like a long rod, like a 7 to 7.5 foot. Something around a medium action is my favorite because you have to have give in that tip. You want it to be a little bit light, so that there's no stretch braid when the fish hits. You just basically reel into him. The way that I set this rod up is I have braided line for the main line, usually 15 to 20 pound test, and then I tie a leader, which is either fluoro or mono, and I usually use 25 to 30 pound test because not that you need that as much as when you grab it, you won't cut your hand. Because if you grab straight braid, even though it works perfectly fine to do straight braid, if you grab that braid, you're going to cut your hand. So the big leader is, as much as anything, it's just to grab hold of to get control of a fish if you're not netting it. I use about a 2 foot leader of the 25 to 30 pound test, and then I tie a duo lock snap onto that. The main reason for that is just simply so I can change colors quickly, because I like changing colors to let the fish tell me what they're going to hit best that day. So I frequently change colors. This is a Fire Tiger chartreuse blade. It's been the most consistent really for 2023 so far. The knot that I use to connect this braided line to the leader material is called a triple surgeon's knot. And what you do is you put the lines end to end, okay, and then you just wrap it over and make a loop here. And then what you do is you tuck through both the leader material and the braided line and tuck that through 3 times, or you can do 4 or 5 if you want to, but 3 is usually sufficient, especially with the braided lines. The fused braids slip sometimes, so you'll probably want to do a 4 or 5 wrap on those. But for the regular braided line, like Power Pro type braid, 3 wraps is all you really need to do. And then tighten it down and trim off the ends and attach your snap to the end of the leader, and you're ready to roll. With bowfin fishing and pickerel fishing, bowfin especially, it generally takes more time to get the bowfin off the hook and back in the water than it does to catch another one. So I've learned some stuff over the years. What I'll do first is I'll net the fish generally to get it out of the water and away from the alligators. And then I'll use these tools. I'll use a lip gripping tool to kind of grab that 25 to 30 pound leader and get control of the fish. Get it in his mouth, and then I've got control of the fish. Then you can use this hook remover, which it's got the little hook that grabs the treble hook, and you can basically get a hold of that shank and then flip it and twist it out, and you don't even have to touch the fish, just unhooking and releasing. I love fishing here in Okefenokee for bowfin because it's kind of gentleman fishing. You can wake up whenever you want to wake up and then go out, and it doesn't matter if the sun's up or not, because they eat best actually once the sun gets up, and the flash of these baits is more effective then. So pickerel fishing is good early morning, but you can catch them all day as well. So really you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn to be able to catch fish with these baits in Okefenokee or in the rivers. You can release the fish and not even have to touch him. All right, good deal. Caught fish after fish. That was number 64, and it's been a great day. That's how you fish a Dura-Spin. See you later.